see what we got going on here. Hang on a second. I'm not sure if you can see me yet. I gotta figure something out here real quick. Let's see how this goes. Okay, we good? You said low volume. Is it good? Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Let me check my mic. Oh, I can up that a bit. Let's try that. See if that's any better. Probably is. Good. How about now? Good. TRT made Joseph strong again. Strong like bull. All right, all systems go, they say. Okay. 5 by 5. Hello, everybody. All right. Welcome back. Yeah, I was reading some of the comments and realizing on this channel, you know, this my old channel, that there's a lot of people, a number of people that had no idea I was still around and maybe just never thought to type in search for JSNP4 on YouTube, because if you search for JSNP4, it would show up as JSNP42. There was another channel with my face and everything on it, and you would have found me. But I did cut back on how much I posted. Probably when I started the new channel, I didn't post nearly as much as I used to. I mean, I was posting every single day, plenty to talk about. And I used to remember telling everybody, like, man, when I first started, I do 2-3 videos a week. And then it was like, wow, I can do a video every day. Wow, there's plenty to talk about to do more than one video a day. And I started doing, like, I try to keep them, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So of course, sometimes I'd run over, but it'd be like, I'll do 3 videos a day. I can talk about 3 different subjects, 3 different titles, maybe 15 minutes each throughout the day or whatever. And sometimes I'd already do the video and then just upload it for the morning. That way, on people's ride to work, they can hear me, which I found people like to do that. So I would do the videos at night, and then in the morning, they'd already be scheduled to go like one after the other kind of a thing. I'd schedule one, like maybe a half hour apart, something like that. And that used to work pretty well. And yeah, the OG background of Realist News. I gotta find that. It might be. I wonder if it's on this laptop next to me, actually. Because Woo Woo Dude just told me that. Now, some of you are going to go, Woo Woo Dude, what the hell's that? Well, I met Woo Woo Dude after my channel got terminated. Although, no. Wait, you should know Woo Woo Dude, because there are Woo Woo Dude videos of live streams of us, for sure. Because that was 2020 that I met him. My channel here got terminated, I think, in 2021. So you guys should know and remember Woo Woo Dude. Richard the Shaman. Let me just look. I'm just peeking on my laptop here for a second. Because I thought I did save all my old backgrounds and everything. It's not there. Maybe videos. They're somewhere. I know I have them somewhere. I thought they were on my D drive, my separate drive. Program files, GoPro. Could be on my other computer somewhere. I know I saved that stuff. Pictures. Indiana. Oh yeah, I got some old Indiana Jones backgrounds that Steven made me, which I think I have on this computer already. Ian. I'm gonna have to try to find those. The OG Realist News background, like you said, so long. I want to be with winners. You guys remember that story? I want to be with winners. Oh, come on, guys! I just want to be with winners. Steak in a room. All I need is a steak in a room, guys. You made me forget about that. And the I see Glass Walker. Chicken. How do you guys remember this stuff from like 4 years ago? It's still on your mind. Oh, that's so funny. Oh God, I'll tell the chicken story first. I was probably early 20-year-old, 2021, somewhere around there. And I worked for this water softener company down in Ybor City, Tampa, Florida. And there was this Hardee's fast food restaurant right there close by to the shop. So I'd sometimes get breakfast or lunch or whatever. And this time I got out of the shop late, so it was around lunchtime. I'm going to grab a bite to eat, to go, drive through, to go to my service call or whatever I was doing at the time. And they had this new chicken sandwich, advertisement right there as soon as you pull up to the drive through. Try our new chicken sandwich. Doesn't say what's on it, but, I'm like, that sounds kind of good. New chicken sandwich. I'll see what we got going on. So, this girl, ghetto fabulous girl, I will say, because this was near the ghetto over there. She's like, and she was right off the bat. I remember, may I help you? Like, already had an attitude. May I help you? Yeah, I was wondering what comes on that new chicken sandwich you guys have. Chicken. Anything else? Lettuce and tomato. I felt like Jim Carrey. That sounds good. I'll have that. And she, man, at first I was a little offended by that, and a little mad, like, how, why are you talking to me like this? But then after I thought about the whole interaction, I was like, I'll never forget this the rest of my life. And it became the funniest thing. And every now and then, every time I'm out, someone knows that story, and the waiter says anything, we got, our chicken's really good or whatever. Like, whoever's there that knows, we look at each other, and they'll go, chicken. Oh, God. Now, I want to do it with this story. So I used to work as an IT guy, the main IT guy at this company that sold business phone systems over in Brandon, Florida. That's what I did officially for many, many, many years. And then I kind of sort of retired to, Patreon and stuff. And now I don't have to work there anymore. But my friend Mark, his cousin was like a pro poker player. And they had a deal down in Miami. So he's like, it's in Florida. Let's go. And he's like, man, when my cousin goes, he's going all out. We're going to have a great time. So I was like, yeah, let's go. We're going to be there. And we get to sit in the special section because he's my cousin, He goes, there's this guy that's like kind of a little short, fat, flip-flops, dressed kind of like a bum, like not dressed real good. And like total New York accent, this guy. And he's got his little sidekick with him. Some guy, his little sidekick. And I think his name was Al. Big Al. Like his name was Al. And he's sitting there loudmouthing, for whoever's like seems to be winning the poker tournament. Al, go! What's that guy? What's his name? Vinny? Go, Vinny! Yeah, Vinny! Being loud and obnoxious about it. Well, the people presenting the tournament don't know, is this guy like someone's family member? They don't want to be rude to him, like, hey, pipe down or like, get out of here. So then that guy's out. The guy, Vinny's out. Oh, okay. Oh, Vinny, What's that guy's name? Oh, it's John. All right, John, let's go, John. It's just every time the next guy. Finally, he's just loud and obnoxious the whole time. And so my friend's cousin, I think he ends up winning the whole thing. And of course he's cheering for him last, obviously, right? He's just going down the line. This guy, no one knows who this guy is. So at the end, they kind of realized, this guy, who the hell is this guy? We thought he was with that guy. He's cheering him on. It's that guy. I guess he's just some dumbass, So he goes, after you win, you go to collect the money, and here comes old Al or whatever. I think his name was Al. Basically like trying to get a couple bucks. Hey, I was cheering for you. I was really rooting you on. I was really putting on a show for you. Could you throw me a couple bucks? I guess that's a thing in some of these tournaments. I didn't even know. That's almost like a groupie, but not. So he's over there trying to get something from my buddy's cousin, some money, and, trying to cheer him on. Good game, man. Hey, listen, all I need is a steak in a room. Oh, come on, guys. I just want to be with winners. I want to be with winners, guys. Just steak in a room. That's all I need, steak in a room. He broke him off $300, I think. he still gave him a couple bucks. Anyways, still broke him off a couple bucks. And I think his name was Al. They determined his name was Al. So that was the I want to be with winners. Yeah. So some of you may not know my dad. The story of the jabronis. I see someone writing the jabronis. My dad had that jabroni guy. Kind of turn my gain down a little bit. I don't think I need the gain so high on the mic, but my dad lived on a couple acres in this old man's house, and he cut a piece of it out to be like a 1-bedroom apartment. And my dad lived cheap there for a long time, and jabroni would come over, borrow the old man's lawnmowers, borrow this stuff, break stuff, bring his own shit over there, work on stuff. Like, what are you doing? Brought his little RV over there. He was running an extension cord from my dad's porch. Like, Steve, what's the Wi-Fi? Can I get the Wi-Fi? My dad's paying for the Wi-Fi. What are you doing? Jabroni, what are you doing? So when we had these 2 storms come through, was it last year or the year before? Whatever it was. Nice big tree branch fell right on top of Jabroni's beat up, destroyed lawnmowers to finish them off. And my dad goes, it serves him right for leaving those pieces of garbage here all this time. Collecting dust and dirt, sitting next to the old man's fence, not being used at all. He never comes over anymore, this guy, Jabroni. So he's like, it serves him right. So my dad was triple vaxxed. I warned him. And my dad's playful attitude, the way he always was, he's like, you want to know why I did it? What, got the vax? Yeah, why? I was walking through Walgreens. Because I think he'd go get his diabetic strips or whatever. He did something there. I forgot what he was in there fairly frequently. And I look over and the lady's there with the shots. We're giving these free shots or whatever. And I say to the lady, I'll get one if you can give it to me right now and not make me wait. Yep, there's no line, so you can get right now. Okay, so he sits down and gets his first COVID shot, then the second, then the third later on. I'm like, so that was your determination of I'm going to get this thing that I'm trying to warn you is not what it seems. And if she would have said, we got a person in front of you, you would have left? Like, Dad, that's... Anyways, he also had a kidney transplant nearly 20 years ago. And they don't typically last longer than about 10 years or so, on average. Maybe 15. His lasted 19 years. And he started getting a fast-moving cancer after the COVID shots, just by chance, of course. And it was a skin cancer, but also one of the medications he was taking was known to cause a type of skin cancer. But what he got was the super rare, super aggressive form. I forget the name of it. It's a weird name. In his face and his nose, they end up cutting in here and trying to remove it. only to find out, oh, it's way worse than we thought. And he asked the doctor, if you think you can get to it and get it out, I'll do it. But if you don't think you're able to get it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm very, very positive. Very, very positive. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. It's deeper. It's behind your eye socket thing, whatever. It's already there. We can't do anything. Sorry. Well, now you've cut it all open. Now it's going to spread like wildfire. And it did. And we warned my dad again, but you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. But he went downhill from that day. It was already growing, like this thing was growing on his face. Like he had a knot up here, and it was not good. And on my other channel, he did do a video. This would have been probably back in May, if you want to go find it, on my Jason Hip 42 channel. Probably around May of this year. If not May, June, but I think it was one or the other. Because he died June, I think, 25th or 26th. But he was in the hospice, and I said, Dad, you want to do a video? People are asking about you. You have anything to say? Because when you know you're dying, you reflect a lot. You have some things in your mind. And he gave a little speech, nice little speech, about, like basically, don't sweat all the small stuff, man. Love is what's important the most. Love your family. Love people. That was kind of his message. A nice little message, man. See, we would do it in the chat if y'all want to know. So anyways, he passed. And speaking of which, my wife just cleaned off the mantle in Papa's name. I literally put it on my computer desk. She's like, we need to spread his ashes. My sister has some. I got some. And he used to love going to Tarpon Springs, Florida, which is a nice little Greek area, Greek food and the Sponge Docks, really cool place. Yeah, someone mentioned, tell him about the plane crash. I was in a plane crash. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And so anyways, I thought, I need to spread his ashes out. The old apartment complex I grew up at, which is not far from here. Not too far anyways. I plan on spreading some there. He was the only dad that played with kids like me and my friends. None of my friends' dad would ever do anything with us. It was always my dad. He'd come play basketball with us. He'd play football. He'd just be all-time quarterback. And we'd run. We'd be basically all wide receivers. All of us trying to get open and get a pass. And baseball, like everything. Like he would, and sometimes we'd go to like a baseball field and we'd drive over there. So he'd take us over there. And other people would meet us sometimes. Just nobody was like that, man. And someone said he came to Evelyn. Yeah, he came to Evelyn right away. I think the night he passed or the next day. He came to her in a dream. And he was a very small child in that dream. And she said it was like I was, when you drop your kid off to school for the first time, like kindergarten or something. They oh my God, they're scared, they're crying, they don't know where to go, what to do. You're leaving them for a while, She goes, it was that. He was a small child in this dream, but I had to hey, it's going to be okay. It's okay to go, And I'm going, Evelyn, it sounds like you were basically letting him know it's okay to cross over. You were this motherly figure to him in this dream. And he said to her, he had told her, when he knew he was dying, again, you reflect on stuff. And he told my wife how much she absolutely adored him and, or how much he adored her and was a great mother to my kids and everything. And, his grandkids and very kind to him. And he thanked her, this and that, And I remember crying before he's died when I really realized, he's on his way out in the not too distant future. You'd be driving alone, just start thinking about things and start crying. And then the day he passed, but then after that, I have not cried since. I'm like, oh, he's finally out of his pain, because it was really, God, it was real painful in his face, that cancer, man. And so I've had it just the other day. I had a dream of him. He came with me in the dream to watch Evelyn do like a recital dance she was doing with her instructor. And they went to run outside and come back to start the show, and they got lost. And I'm like on the text with her, like texting her, like on the phone. Where are you at? What are you doing? Like I kind of was yelling at her a little bit. Like, how the hell do you get lost? You like, what are you doing? My dad, like, we're here to watch you. You know, like, what are you doing? You know, which I wouldn't normally do that. Like, I wouldn't say that, but in the dream I did to her, you know, whatever. But my dad came to watch, and then before that, I had another dream where I was in my room and my dresser's there, and there's this like electronic box with knobs and stuff on it and a speaker. And I walked by it, and I think I bumped it, and I turned it on in accident. And all of a sudden, I hear my dad coming through talking, and I know in the dream he's already passed on, and he's talking to me. So it's like, oh, and I'm talking back with him, and we're having a conversation. It's like, and the thought came, oh, this is a spirit box. And I haven't done this yet, but I have the sneaky suspicion because I was shown that in the dream. If I do get one of those, which you can just use, and I have one, those little radios, battery operated, little small ones, and they can scan through the channels automatically, and you just put the antenna in instead of out, so it can't really pick up channels real well, and it skips, and then when it hears a voice or a song, it stops for a second and you hear it. I have a sneaky suspicion if I use one of those and start asking questions, my dad will probably come through. Yes, no, you know, and talk, but I haven't done it, and I haven't felt the need to, but I have a feeling that's why I was shown that in the dream. So there's that. So it's like, well, what have you been doing? Those of you who like, gee, man, I haven't heard from you in years. So, and I don't know when if I did this on my old channel or not, but my Woo dude was telling me, oh, Spirit just came through and told me Sheba's going to getting ready to go. And I was like, man, I was just asking Spirit, like, if this thing goes up, can I get like a 50% profit? Because I'd like to buy this little helicopter, and while COVID's happening, I want to learn how to fly, get my pilot's license. I'm going to take that thing to New Mexico at some point. So I ended up getting this little helicopter, a Schweitzer 300C, learned how to fly it, but next thing I know, first, Sheba doesn't only go up 50%, it goes up over 100. And I go, oh my God, I'm going to buy a helicopter and a Tesla with that Sheba profit. This is unbelievable. So I ended up buying a Model 3 Performance Tesla at the time, which I still have, and the helicopter. And I learned how to fly it, got my license, then moved on to actually fly fixed wing, airplane. Got my endorsement or whatever for that to be able to, as a private pilot, not IFR rated, but VFR rated in both. And flew the helicopter around, but it's not real fast, But the plane I got was a Lancer 4P. Real fast, pressurized, air conditioning, real quick plane. And then this was in 2023, I think, November. And I was heading back from New Mexico because I haven't mentioned too much to you guys if you haven't been around, but do my little treasure hunting stuff out there. And I'm like, man, if I could get a little plane, there's an airport right by the place, the town we always go to. Otherwise, it's a 2-hour drive from the airports, the major airports. And I got to rent a car and all this stuff. So I was like, man, if I can get a little plane, I can get over there fast. And my friend lives over there. I can have a car over there already waiting. Like, man, this. So anyways, I get this little plane. And I've flown it a bunch of times, everything was fine. And that morning, it's time to go back home to Florida. I just had a bad feeling about the plane. In particular, about the plane. And I didn't listen to my gut. And I'm like, well, I'll just circle the airport 3 times as I climb out. And then if everything's good, I'm just going to go. So that's exactly what I did. Everything was fine. I get to Texas. I land to get some fuel. Check everything like you're supposed to. Everything's good. Let's go. And boom, off I go. Let's go to Florida. And now keep in mind, there's a 2-hour time difference. So flying from New Mexico to Florida, you need to wake up earlier and get going earlier so it doesn't get dark on you. Unless you want to fly at night. I didn't want to fly at night. I hadn't even flown that plane at night. I flew the helicopter at night a few times, but, not the plane. And regardless, you don't want to have to try to figure out where to land at night in a plane or helicopter when it's dark out and you can't see what the hell's below you, unless you're flying over streets and stuff. So I don't want to learn how, not learn, but I don't want to start flying this plane at night tonight, on that night. So by the time I get to Florida, and I think it's around the time when it starts getting dark, around 6:30 p.m., something like that. And, it's like 5:40 or something. I'm like, man, I'll be at the airport that I need to get to in 20 minutes. But there's an entire blanket of clouds over Florida with no gaps anywhere, no holes, and I cannot fly through clouds as a VFR pilot. You have to fly through an opening. So I'm like, okay, I'm only going to fly for maybe a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, 2 minutes, something. If I don't see an opening, because I'm cruising at like 230 knots, which is probably like 260 mile an hour, 270 mile an hour. And I'm at that time, I think I was around 6,000 feet because I'd already descended a bit. And I'm just, as far as I can see, it's just clouds. And I'm like, ah. And before I even know it, I get this terrible feeling. Turn this plane around right now and go north, land at an airport, and get a hotel. Okay. I turn the dial on the autopilot because it was on. It turns for me, put a new heading in, boop, off I go. I don't know how much time went by, not hardly any. Oh, there's a hole in the clouds. I need to get through that to keep going north as well. I'm going for it. And I realize it's a small hole. It could close up. I pull all the power out of the plane, so it's at idle. And I do a pretty steep dive to get through that cloud. I end up picking up 8 knots of airspeed, going 238 knots by just diving, to give you an idea. And I come out under that, nice and easy, bleed off that airspeed to get to a reasonable airspeed, slow down, and then I go to push the throttle back in, and the engine doesn't do anything. It's been freewheeling because it's idle. Put the power in, nothing happens. Pull it back out, try again, nothing happens. Oh my God. Look around me. Oh, you're over Perry, Florida in a forest area. There's nowhere to land. There's some dirt roads, a couple. They don't look real good. They're not straight. Oh boy, what am I going to do? Start doing your checklist. Okay, try it again. Nope. Okay. Fast planes tend not to glide very well because they're very aerodynamic. They need to cut through the air, not stay up there hovering around. So, well, not hovering, but anyways, it's not a Cessna. And I'm coming down reasonably quick. I'm at 1,700 feet now from 2,000 in no time. Okay, where are you putting this thing down? I guess that's road's all I got. I'm going for it. So I try to line myself up, circle around, put my flaps in, slow down. This thing will stall. The wings will stall at 62 knots-ish. And I get this thing down to about 70, 71 knots. And I got my flaps in, got my landing gear down, and they said if you ever have to do an off-field landing or something, you put the landing gear up in that plane and belly land it because they tend to flip. Well, I have a dirt road I'd like to land on, so I'm going to have the gear down because I'm going to need to brake as fast as I can too. So I'm turning. I get close to that dirt road. The closer I get, the more I realize this is not going to happen. You can't make it. There's not enough room. It's not wide enough. It's not long enough. It's not straight enough. Oh, there's some newly planted pine trees in front of me that are probably this thick. And they're nice in rows. And I go, I'm going to crash right into them so the wings hit them equally. Boop, 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 boop. So I do. And I remember hearing that sound of those trees being hit by my plane at probably 80 mile an hour, 70 knots or so. And that's the last thing I remember. And I had grabbed the dashboard because the flight stick was in my control stick was in my left hand, and I've got a death grip on this dashboard because I know I'm going to be bouncing around. I do have a seatbelt on. It was very much like a car seatbelt, and I'm just I don't want to bounce around. So I'm because the wings will be hitting these trees. So I'm just trying to hold on as tight as I can, and I get very close to the ground because that's another thing. I don't want to be high up in those trees. I want to be low, and one of my tires hit the ground. The dirt road I was going to be going down, but that I had to abort. So I was, just to give you an idea, I was pretty much landing into the trees. And when I come to, the plane flipped over. I can hear the sound of a lot of fuel in multiple places pouring out of the wing to my left, which is actually the right wing because the plane flipped over. And I'm not in the pilot seat anymore. I'm in the passenger seat, but the plane's upside down, but I'm right side up. So my butt is on the ceiling. In the seat head, my head is on the seat up here. And I'm positioned right looking out the window. So when I came to, all I see is this halfway broken window and my foot practically resting there like, oh, just give it a little tap. boop. Break the window out. I pull myself out with both hands, past the pouring fuel, and I realize it's going to be dark in like 20 minutes. I don't know where the hell I am exactly. Where the hell's my phone? Somewhere in the plane, or maybe it flew out of the plane when I crashed. I don't know. But I'm alive. I'm a little bloodied up, bruised up pretty bad. But I was able to walk. And I walk by the dirt road. I see my backpack laying there in the dirt. Oh, I guess something did fly out of the plane. I grab my backpack. I got to find my phone. I try to go back into the plane. After the fuel had already poured out, it was soaking up in the sand. And I'm like, okay, everything was shut off. I don't have any reason to believe this thing's going to catch fire right now. So I try to get back into this window and the plane, and I can't get my head and even one shoulder into this hole I just can't climb out of. And I see my iPad, which had my flight program, 4Flight, in it, and I realize, it has a data card. I could use this to get a hold of somebody. I can't make a call, but I could get a hold of somebody. Let me take that. So I grab it, and I'm like, please, God, let there be somebody coming down this freaking dirt road in the middle of nowhere. And I go put my the iPad on top of the backpack by the dirt road, and here comes a pickup truck. A guy and his daughter, who was 11, the girl was 11. They get out, and I'm like, did you see me go down? No. You didn't hear nothing? No. We're just exiting the forest. We like to go drive through the forest sometimes. He goes, a strange thing. I don't usually go out this way. I just had a feeling to leave this way this time. It's been a long time since we exited this way. I said, well, glad you did, And I said, can I use your phone, to the girl? I got to call my wife and tell her I'm okay. So I call Evelyn. She doesn't answer. She doesn't recognize the number. I call a second time. She realizes, okay, whoever this is calling twice. So I started calling again. She answers. I'm like, Evelyn, it's me. I'm fine. I'm okay. I just crashed the plane into a forest, and the ambulance is coming. They're going to take me to the hospital to check me out, but I'm okay, and I'll call you later on my phone if I can find it. Okay. That's that. And I go to the hospital. They check me out. You're bruised up pretty bad, but I don't see any broken bones or anything. You're lucky, So how does a person black out, crash the plane, it flips over, somehow I'm able to take my seatbelt off, get in the next seat over to me, upside down, and then come to? And when I looked over at the pilot seat, I realized if I was in that seat with my seatbelt on, my head probably would have been snapped, my neck. So something took me out of that plane and saved my life. And I prayed for 3 days after that, every night, thanking whoever, God, Spirit, whatever, whoever saved me. Thank you for saving my life. My family was about to be without their father and the only income provider of the whole household. And on the third day, I heard loud and clear, right after I thanked them again, I heard in my mind, you're worth it. And I was like, whoa, what? Did I just say that to myself? Because it's always your voice that you hear. And I'm like, well, why would I tell myself I'm worth it? Why on day 3? I just thought, whatever. I heard what I heard. So, totally destroyed that plane, which I did use some crypto profits to get that plane too, by the way. And could not insure it. Way too fast, high performance plane, low time pilot. Guys that were airline pilots refused to get insurance on those planes because it's so outrageously high. There was no chance I could even get it. So, plane got destroyed, but I'm alive. The money's gone, whatever, but I'm alive. And I'm here to live another day. So, that happened. That was 2023. And I still have the little helicopter. I don't have the plane. And I've thought about flying again, like plane wise, but I don't feel like I don't have a need right now to be flying over there. I end up having a friend I knew out in Albuquerque, because the guy I used to take with me couldn't come anymore. So I go, man, Spirit, man, I need you to send me the right person. Next thing I know, this guy's reaching out to me. And I knew immediately, oh, he can join. I get a dream. I ask Spirit, give me a dream if I'm allowed to take this guy treasure hunting with me, because you know how important this is to me, and I don't want to bring the wrong person. I get a dream that I have a whole new treasure hunting crew. I go, oh, well, okay, yeah, I guess he's in. So he lives in Albuquerque, right by the airport. Oh, man, he could drive me down there with them, and we could stay at the place. Don't have to worry about renting a car. My Jeep is always up there, so we have my Jeep once we get there. Oh, this is beautiful. And not to mention, I can get there a lot faster commercially, honestly, than I can in my own plane if I had one. However, I still have that stupid 2-hour drive to get down there. So having a little fast airplane can come in handy. But I don't have a need for it right now. And I've flown my helicopter a little bit in the meantime. It needs an annual currently right now, so I'm trying to get that done. And that's kind of that. But I've still have, I've been having, I've still got my dreams. I've had all kinds of dreams. Again, I don't know if you guys, where I left off with those of you on my old channel, but I had a dream of Donald Trump with his fake arrest happening before all that happened, before he was even in the news about it, anything. I remember having a dream about that. I don't know if you guys, if I had that and posted it here or not, I don't remember. Some other stuff that I don't think I did post here. So I remember having a dream. I was flying a helicopter and I'm going to pick up a passenger. And I don't know who it is. I'm just there to pick him up. And I look behind me as they enter. Oh my God, it's Donald Trump. You got to be kidding me. I'm flying Donald Trump somewhere? Okay, ready to go. I pull up on the collective. Let's lift off. It immediately banks hard right and flips over and crashes a few feet off the ground. Not enough to kill us or really even hurt us. Although it could have hurt us. But I'm okay. My seatbelt was on. I got to check on my passenger, my guy. He's not there. And I'm like, where did he go? Like, the doors aren't open. I just saw him get on board. Where'd he go? And I hear he never got on board. And I'm like, yeah, he did. I saw him get on board. I saw him sit down. He never got on board. And then I wake up. And I'm thinking about it. But he did get on board. Why you keep telling me he didn't? Are you telling me there's going to be a little mishap that's known about, perhaps? In advance? Wink, wink, watch the show, enjoy the show? No way. I don't know. Not only that dream, I get a second dream, and then I get a third dream. All related to the same thing. And I don't know if you guys remember Entheos. That is total insider. Entheos tells me, I want you to send a letter to Donald Trump explaining what you got in these dreams. I think it might help him. And he gave me very explicit instructions on how to do it and how to mark the outside envelope with some very, very specific words that I am never to tell anybody about. And if those words are on that letter, on the outside envelope, as part of the address, you make it out to this person, the address. If those words are present on the front of that envelope, he's going to get it. Please do not share these words with anybody. I said, you got it. I wrote those letters. I did some other things he told me to do. And off they went. And I was not sure if he got them or not. And I mentioned in a video one time, I don't know if he ever got them. I didn't hear anything one way or the other, so I don't know. And then Theos, wink, wink, confirmed he got them. I was like, oh shit, okay. And I'm thinking, is the day going to come, whether this is watch the movie or, no, actually, he decided not to get on board that day because of what you said in your dream. And his plane got attacked, or his helicopter got attacked, or it had a malfunction, or whatever. And it went down. And he remembered you sending him those letters, and he didn't get on board that day. It could be that. And Cliff High's like, Joe, you're in the data. You're going to become really, really, really rich and famous. I don't know about the rich part. Like, what is that? It can't be crypto. I can't be really, really, really rich from crypto. Maybe I found the treasure. That might make me rich. But I don't think it's either of those for some reason. I don't know why he said that. But the famous part, he gets some more data. Oh, I got a little more data. What is it? You're going to be so famous, you're going to wear a wig because people will recognize you everywhere you go. And at first, it might be cool and all, but you're going to get tired. You're going to want to be able to go out and not have that happen every single time. And being bald, you could put a wig on and you could easily look different. So I went ahead and bought 2 different wigs. They're sitting in my closet over here, and I put them on a couple times to show people in the video. But I'm thinking, if I'm that damn famous, maybe I'm the guy that saved Donald Trump's life. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what it was about. Let me put this on silence. Because that might be, oh my God, that's the guy you're the one that helped Donald Trump with the dream. Yeah, that's me. I don't know. So that remains to be seen. I hope he doesn't, of course, I hope he doesn't crash or have anything happen. And if he does, I really hope he's not on board for real. Like, even if you hear the news that he was on board, like, even if you hear that, I'm telling you now, that's not what I was shown and like confirmed in my dreams. Could I be wrong? Sure. I'm not going to say I'm 100% right. There's no way. But I feel strong that he won't be on board one way or the other, So, I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to mention that I'd done or been through. People that have been commenting earlier about my testosterone replacement therapy. I got on TRT about 8 months ago. I've always had low testosterone, like normal, but bottom of the scale low, but you're in the normal range, but that's, a lot of the regular doctors don't understand that still could be low. So I got on it, and it changed a lot of things for me in my life, my family life, in a very positive way. I stopped getting mad and yelling about things that I might yell at the kids or my wife about. Stupid things, little things, getting aggravated about things. I hardly ever get aggravated anymore. My marriage ultimately went on to a whole new level. We had some problems around that time, about 8 or 9 months ago, and that, I think, helped. And I realized, reflected back on, how I was. Like, I don't ever want to be like that again to my family. And this testosterone definitely helped. But then I had a knee injury that I re-injured in New Mexico this January, climbing up some damn huge hills and down a couple times. And this time, usually I can just rest for a few minutes and it's good. This time I was like, no, you need to go away for a month. Came back a month later, immediately my knee's hurting. Then my left knee's hurting. The next day I go, oh my God, I'm going to have to do something, like get this checked out, because this has never happened before like this. And I haven't been back there since. But I did do stem cell injections on my knees. It definitely was helping and healing them. But what really helped supercharge, I think, the healing was the peptides. BPC 157 and TB 500. Within about 6 weeks or so, maybe 8 weeks, my knees were like, whoa. My left knee healed pretty quick. My right knee was just the one kind of lagging. And was taking dance lessons with my wife. She started over a year ago. I joined her. It's actually quite fun and a lot of great exercise. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. You see these old people dancing on the floor, and they ain't in walkers. They're not limping. They're quite healthy. They're in good shape. And I'm like, that's what I want to be. And she's like, yeah, me too. I want to be out there at 70 and 80 doing that. We know a 92-year-old lady, a sweet old lady named Jackie. And just a doll. Outlived everybody, like, and her family and everything, like, and she's out there dancing, doing all these dances, all the Latin, all the ballroom stuff, the slow dances, the smooth dances, and it's like, well, I want to strive to be like her, I want to be like that too. So, I couldn't do it. I had to take a couple lessons. Oh no, my knee's like saying no, I gotta stop. No, it's not liking this, and then here we go again. Okay, no, another couple weeks. Finally, and only like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, man, I think it's finally ready. Let me go a little more than once a week lessons, which I had started. So then it was like, okay, I did 2 days in a row. Oh, I did 3 days in a row. Oh, we went to the group class too. How's your knee? I think it's fine. Next day, it's fine. Okay, good. So I'm finally in a good spot with my knees, but I'm just telling you, if you have problems, and whether it's tendon problems, muscle problems, aches and things, God, these peptides, I think, is going to kind of be the new thing. And a lot of them are not FDA approved yet. Of course, there's your answer, right? If it ain't FDA approved, I said I want that right away. Not FDA approved, I'll take 2 of those, please. And I got 2 vials of that stuff. And it was like 3 weeks and 3 weeks. And by the end of it, I was like, and on the 3rd day, I already knew, oh my gosh, I can already tell this stuff is starting to heal me. Like, I can feel the difference 3 days later. And I just kept with it, and just like the doctor had told me. And you could buy this stuff yourself and just reconstitute it with, I think it's called bacteriostatic water, something like that. And you just reconstitute it yourself, put it in the refrigerator because it has to stay refrigerated. Or you could go to some of these places that have it. The place I initially used, the doctor's name was Dr. Jens, Jenns. And if you search for Club Med or Med Club, I forget which one it is, Dr. Jens, it'll come right up on Google search. And they have the combo peptide of 150 BPC 157 and TB 500. It's like $430. You can get it, those 2 things, probably half that price if you're willing to reconstitute it yourself and all that. But when they ship it to you, it comes in a cold pack, and then you just put it in the fridge. It's already ready to go. You get these little baby tiny insulin needles that they also gave you. Easy to administer, like 10 units or 5 units, a little small amount, near the injury site as best you can. But you don't want to put it into a tendon or something. You want to put it in your skin, not in the bone, So if you got to pinch your skin near a spot to have something to put it in, again, the needles are like 8 millimeters long, a 1/4 inch, tiny. You can go at a 45-degree angle into that pinched skin and do it. It's not a big deal. But man, that stuff really, I'm telling you right now, and someone's in there talking right now, they help them with their injury also. And it's been quite good. So yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else I really want to talk about in this live stream. Just remember, I have the other channel, Jason Up 4 2, with the 2 next to it. And subscribe to both if you want, because I'm probably more so going to continue doing that news site, because I think as far as active followers go, that one has more interest, more followers, more comments, more views, that sort of thing, than my old channel here, even though I have 100,000 subscribers supposedly. So we'll see how that goes. Someone also said TRT also helped me too. I will tell you this about testosterone. So they kind of cookie cutter. Okay, here's 150 milligram per week we want you to go on. Inject once a week. I'll tell you right off the bat, if it's a real testosterone clinic, they should know by now to tell people to inject twice a week. Split it 3 days, 4 days, whatever, like split it into 2 injections. So if they want you on 150, take 75 on Sunday and 75 on Thursday, that kind of thing. But from what I can tell, my own research, my own personal experience, I think they overdose people by just starting everyone out at that level. Currently, I'm down to 80 milligrams a week, roughly. And I'm actually pinning every day rather than twice a week. It's just more stable. I read some things out of a clinic in the UK that they felt like it's just a more stable level of testosterone without the waviness of, the spikes you might get doing it twice a week or once a week or whatever. And I thought, well, I'll give that a shot. So I've been pinning every day the equivalent of 80 milligrams per week. So it's just a tiny, it's like 8 units, I think, on the needle, as far as I know, for me. So it's somewhere around there. So for me, it's actually it works. So why overdo something then if you don't need all that? Because your testosterone aromatases into some level of estrogen, some amount. And if you have, which I did, 1,1300 testosterone level coming from like 280, 270, went up to 1,400, 1,300, my estrogen would go through the roof. So they give you an aromatase blocker inhibitor known as anastrozole, I think is what it's called. And you can they tell you take 2 pills a week when you inject, whatever, blah, blah, blah. to keep your estrogen, which is E2, down. And you read online, oh, you got to let it go wherever it's supposed to go. So I tried that too. Oh, yeah, I won't take anything and let my body naturally do it. I got emotional. I had things like that happening. Just like, no, I think that's too high. Sorry. My body doesn't want to stay up there. So I end up taking those pills. And as soon as you do, oh, I can tell my mood's changed. My emotions have changed. Feel better now. Like, not so emotional. Oh, okay. So the object that I've read online is like, well, if you can lower your testosterone, you're automatically going to lower that higher level of estrogen or E2. So if you can find that sweet spot, you don't have to take any pills to manage that side of it. Just do your daily testosterone. So I thought, well, let me try that. And it has been working quite well for me. And I've been on this for a while now. So if I'm new to TRT, I would advise you, even if they tell you take 150 milligrams a week, start at 80. And you have to stay for 3 weeks. 4 weeks is better. Just do a month. Because it takes that long for your body and the other hormones that work off of the testosterone that affects them to equalize and go, okay, here's the new you, where you're at. Emotionally, mood, everything, sex drive, all of it. And you need 3 weeks to 4 weeks for your body to say, okay, here's how I feel. And a lot of people don't know that, and they're making changes within days going, why don't I feel different? It takes time. So you could take 80 milligrams a week, let's say, to start with for a month. How do you feel? Are your symptoms relieved? Are you feeling better? Yeah, okay, then leave it alone. Just leave it right there. No, you can't tell anything different? Okay, go to 100 milligrams a week or 90. But you got to wait another 3 to 4 weeks of taking that much every week because you have to even it out again. Your body, your hormones. So then how's that feeling for you? Still don't really feel anything. Okay, let's go bump it up to 120 milligrams a week. You're going to feel, everybody's different. That's the thing. You can't just, it's not cookie cutter for everybody, but they start you off cookie cutter. And I realized I was like overdosing. My sex drive went to a level I never knew was possible. The thoughts that were coming in my mind were sexual in nature towards my wife, but absurd, like high-level, crazy thoughts. And now that I've come down off of that, it's like, oh, wow, I couldn't live like that. I could not function daily without thinking that all day long, fantasizing, thinking it was like, this is too much. This is crazy. I can't live like this, So I had to back way down. And now it's like, okay, sex drive is really good compared to what it used to be as far as what I thought was normal. It's quite good, even at this 80 milligrams. And I don't have to, at this level, I don't have to take those pills to mess with my estrogen. So it's worked quite nicely, and I still don't have any anger issues, things like that. Like think I'm doing okay, So I think I found my sweet spot, and that's where I plan on staying for now. Unless I need to change it for some reason, but it's not. And I felt like, man, I'll probably take this to the day I die. This stuff's, I didn't know I was low my whole life. Like you think you're normal. You think, the way you act, your mood, all of it is, this is who I am. This is, love me for who I am, Evelyn. And there's a lot of her needs I didn't meet, the old Joe. And then the new testosterone-filled Joe has not only met all of her needs, I've exceeded her expectations. She's told me. I could not ask for anything better for my marriage. 22, now 23, because we had on the 3rd of November, we had our anniversary. 23 years. It took me, I started this year. Like, it took me that long to finally figure this out and go, why didn't you do this? She told you years ago you should probably do this. I'm not going to listen to her. I wish I did. I'll tell you that right now. But things are going quite well. So, I'm just reading some of y'all's comments. Am I still in crypto? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still play with crypto. My foot, it's never healed properly. Like, whatever broke or snapped or whatever is in there that they say, oh, no, everything looks fine. I still can't quite wiggle my toe, my pinky. It has not been as bad as it used to be in the past. And I had this machine called an electroequiscope. It's kind of like a TENS unit, but not. And I was using that for a while when I got it, and you could feel it zapping. When there's a problem, you'll feel a little zapping. If there's no problem, you won't feel a zapping no matter how high you put the power. But if there's an issue, you will feel it. And I did feel it all up in my toe area, back down there. And it seemed like ever since then, I've never had a real bad episode of, oh man, I'm having a real bad foot day today, so to speak. So it's still not fully healed. And I thought, well, the peptides are still new to me, and I just ordered some that I'm going to reconstitute and maybe keep taking it, except inject down there by my toe and see if I can't get that thing to whatever the hell was wrong with it to get fixed. That would be one hell of a story to tell. That would be very positive for peptides. And I'd love to tell the story, but I'm not going to tell the story unless it's true. So I'm going to probably do that and start injecting in my foot. And we'll see how that goes. I remember you had a friend who ended up in your videos. I'm not sure what friend you're talking about, but I mean, we do live streams sometimes, Maybe your mic needs a new battery, lots of static. It's USB. Maybe it's just you. Are you guys, is everyone hearing static? Because no one else is complaining. It might just be your own computer or phone or whatever. Do you still have the dancing llama? Oh my God. I think my son broke it, Ian, when he was little. He's 5 now, like little, 2 or 3. He loved that thing. It would do a thing, and I think it broke. But I remember that damn llama. I'd play that llama. There's a dancing cactus that he got that's like the llama, and he loved that thing for a while. Would play the hell out of that. I don't even know if that's in here somewhere. I'd have to find it. Don't know if you guys know. Again, that haven't been around, but Michelle White Dove did pass away. I'm trying to think of the time frame. Probably 3 years ago. And I don't know the exact reason. She just passed in the night. And it was right around the time of the Theta conference that was down in Fort Lauderdale, or that area. Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Although someone says, yeah, I do kind of hear the static. I wonder what that's about. I wonder if I unplug it and plug it back in. Let me do a little quick test here. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4. How is it? A Mac. Oh, I hate Macs. I do like the iPhone, but better. Okay. I just unplugged it and switched USB ports just for the hell of it. Why not? Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on. That's good. Yeah. So, anyways, this year in particular was a little rough for me. I had my dad pass. Had some family problems when I got on that TRT and decided to change my life, and I can't be like the old way I was to my family. And it's been great. My wife and I's relationship has really blossomed into something pretty good, man. A lot better than both of us thought, honestly. So it's like, oh, this is great. 23 years later, into a marriage, it can go to another level. Like, how does it even happen? I'm like, I can't believe you stayed with me for that long. But she did. And now I'm kind of a different husband and father. Everything, it just worked out great. I used to hear Joe's laptop fan and sometimes thought it was mine. Noisy PCs. Yeah, when I had that laptop, I know what you're talking about. But in here, it's nice and quiet. And on my PC, I'm using the PC. So, yeah, I've been around. This year was a little rough for me, and I've really cut back on the video postings and stuff. And, just trying to get some things figured out in my life. And I think I'm on a good path finally now. I'm like, all right, I think it's time to get back into, bringing Woo Dude on a little bit more, doing some videos a little bit more, and things like that. So I just thought tonight, maybe I should do a little quick live stream by myself just to let everybody know, like, what I've been doing. Those of you who just never heard from me from 4 years now, and he didn't know I had another channel that I've been posting on, you know. So I think that's about it, you know, that I want to talk about for now. Someone I mentioned, I could talk about silver. I have my silver, never got rid of any of my silver. And, you know, if you don't know the Woo Dude story, he said Spirit had showed him a stack of coins, like I'm trying to think, is it 10 or 20 that's in a stack, in those little sleeves. He's like, I saw him at $10,000. And then Spirit's like, oh no, it's going to go higher. And then they showed it to him at $30,000. And he's like, oh my God. Oh, well, there's one more. $50,000. And he's like, what? And they're like, yeah, but at this time people won't really be owning it. It's like it's going to be needed for some reason, strategic, technological, something. And it's funny because I just read recently that silver and what the hell was it, copper, brass, or something. It was like copper, silver, and something else is now on the strategic, you know, whatever list of the United States government all of a sudden. And it's like, oh, gold wasn't mentioned, but silver was. Oh, that's interesting. So, yeah, I think we're going to have... are the riffraff videos on here from the early days? They're on here. I don't know exactly where, but they're on this channel. Without a shadow of a doubt. The riffraff videos are on this channel. You might search for Jason Up 4 riffraff and see if anything comes up on YouTube. So, yeah, just taking it easy, you know, just been chilling with the family, wife, you know, trying to be more present. I used to go out every day for lunch. I'd go see my friends. Evelyn stays home watching Ian, whatever. You know, the other girls are old enough. They're 19, and 16 now. So, you know, just leave her here. I'm going to have, you know, it's like, this is the Joe show, you know, you're my roommate. Yeah, piece of advice. You can't treat your spouse like they're a roommate. They're your babysitter. They're the housekeeper. You know, and not give them the most basic thing that a spouse needs, you know, especially a woman spouse, you know, they need to feel you're emotionally connected. They need to feel you're present. You know, it wouldn't hurt to compliment them every now and then instead of yell at them about how bad of a job they did cleaning the house or whatever, you know, which I've done. You know, believe me, I reflected back and cried over it for probably 3 weeks. For both her and the kids, and I sat the kids down one by one. The girls, not Ian, because there's been no issues with Ian, but basically apologizing for how I've been as their dad, yelling, in particular yelling at them about stuff, you know. And there's times I made him cry. Same with Evelyn, I've made him cry from yelling. Not a lot, but over the 22 years is a long time. There's been a few times, and I'd always feel bad about it. I'm like, why can't I just take a breath? Why'd I have to go from 0 to 100? Why can't you just control yourself when something just triggers you like that? Oh, look what you just did, you know? And I'm like, why am I like that? I don't know. Well, your testosterone's low. Guess what a symptom of low testosterone is? Getting very moody and yelling is one of them. You know, and then I got on it. I'm like, whoa, my emotions feel a little different. I actually have some different emotions towards Evelyn. She even looks different to me, more beautiful to me. More sexy to me. More I'm turned on to see her, be with her, all of it. Like, what the hell? Well, I didn't know any different. So it's like, oh my God, you got to have a normal amount of testosterone in you as a man. And women, as you get older and go through perimenopause and menopause, yours are going to change too. And you might stop having feelings towards your spouse and may stop wanting to have sex completely. And it's like, you guys need to get on hormone replacement therapy, HRT, if you're going through that. But not everybody does like that. But I went on a major researching spree about all this stuff, and I found divorce rates skyrocket in the 40s and early 50s. Why? Because everyone's freaking hormones are changing. And you don't know it, that's the reason. Your brain just tells you, I don't like this person anymore. I don't think I love him anymore. I read a story of a woman who said that, and she's like, I went on a vacation by myself. I told my husband I'm leaving. He knew why. When I get back, we're going to finalize this divorce. She goes, but I had started HRT approximately 2 weeks before that vacation. So when I was on the vacation, 2 or 3 weeks had gone by. I started realizing, oh my God, I love that man. I miss him. I can't wait to be back with him. And she goes, it literally saved my marriage. She's just telling a story. And I thought, wow, you don't know it's happening because you feel normal. These are normal thoughts I'm having. These are normal feelings I'm having. So what I would say is if you're in that situation and your marriage is about to end and you don't know what to do, you might want to try doing it. You can always stop at any time and just see. But you need to wait at least a month, again, men and women, to see how it's affecting you. And if you realize a month into it, oh, I can tell there's changes, but I still don't like this person anymore. I'm not in love with them anymore. I'm just not. Okay, great. But you might want to stay on it because you're feeling a lot better anyways, and there are some other issues it may have solved for you. But maybe not. It's not maybe not for everybody. You got to kind of figure it out. But I just was dumbfounded how many, the percentage of divorces, how rapidly they rise as women go through perimenopause, then menopause. And it's not to say that guys don't have little issues too. A lot of times guys go through their own little thing. Midlife crisis. I'm going to go buy a fast sports car and a boat and a young chick. Like whatever. Like I don't have that. Like I see Evelyn. I'm like, this brought me closer to her. I have feelings for her now that I didn't have before. It's almost like I'm in a new relationship. Which is funny, like weird. Like, but you've been hitting that for 22 years, 23 years. Yeah, but it's different now. It's a lot different now. I've been thoroughly enjoying myself in all ways with her, whether that's intimate or being around her or driving together to a dance thing or lesson or just going to the grocery store with her, dropping Ian off at a place or something. Like, man, like I wish I did this earlier. And I wish I listened to her because she's the one that told me long ago I should probably do this. And I got so close in 2023. We ordered everything. I got it shipped in. I looked at those needles in that box and I go, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to mess with my hormones. I don't want to be injecting myself, man. And then, 2 years ago, I wish I did it. Even then, I wish I did it. But whatever. So I feel like, I'm sure, I come out here and share you some very personal stories with you guys sometimes. And, I'm like, if I can help somebody and they can hear this, or they're having a problem with their spouse and their spouse hears this and goes, oh, man, that might be me. Maybe I'll give that a shot. It can't hurt. And I just wish I did it earlier. But my kids still live at home. And I'm like, we're going on little vacations more frequently. We're having family time more frequently. Like, I want them to know I'm here. And when we go somewhere, it's not, can we leave? We've been here for 2 hours. I'm ready to go. The old Joe. The new Joe, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to stay as long as we need to stay. I'm enjoying myself with my family. And it's been great. My kids have seen it. My wife's seen it. Everybody sees it. And they I'm pretty sure they like the new dad and the new husband. My wife wrote me some really incredible poems about my transformation and a really nice Father's Day, very nice Father's Day card, but anniversary from a few days ago. So I see someone calling. I got divorced because my husband was a narcissist, and I went to 7 marriage counselors. Again, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and no TRT or HRT is going to help in a situation. Sometimes there's just people out there that they are how they are, and that's it. And you got to figure that out and do what's right for you, But someone asked about theta, I think. XRP, theta, silver. Yeah, theta. I mean, the remote viewers, Dick Allgaier in the Future Forecasting Group, as they call themselves now, didn't seem to have too good of a view of theta recently in one of the sessions they did. Like, they're looking at the team going, we think the team is debating where to go next. Should we go into AI? Because what we thought, this video streaming platform stuff, tokens, it's not quite what we thought it was going to be. And if it's not, we probably should do something else. And we probably should implement AI somehow, or get into AI with this. That's what they thought they were pulling out of that data, something like that. But maybe people are leaving, top guy leaves, this guy leaves, and when that starts happening, I do think when the markets rally, data will rally again. I know White Dove had given out $1,000 plus prices for that thing. I can't speak on. I don't know, and she's unfortunately no longer with us. But it did go to nearly $16, and I did pay my house off in every piece of debt I had, and I had a whole bunch of T fuel for free that I told you guys about. That's why you got to get this. You're gonna get free T fuel times 5 the amount of data you have. It's got to be worth something, and it's free. And I had a bunch of good tax money to pay taxes and everything else when I paid everything off, and it was wonderful. But you can't be married to these things. And I was married to Theta for a while. And when I first met Woo Dude, Spirit had to teach me a lesson about Theta. I'm not pulling that from my cold dead hands. And he goes, how much could you have just made if you would have sold when Spirit told you to? And see where it's at now. And I want to say it went up from like 75 cents to $1.50 and then back down or something like that, if I remember. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm doing the calculation in my head right now. He goes, they just wanted to show you that they're real. Spirit wants to show you that they're real, and they know how to get to you. They know what will make you a believer. I go, I'll never question them again. He goes, okay. and the rest is history. Remember the old horse out of the blue? Digibite, all that stuff Spirit gave us, And I've had some dreams. And by the way, not too long ago, it's been months now, but I feel like it was maybe early in the year. I did have a dream that Bitcoin is going to crash from around 100,000 something way down. I don't want to say it out here because that's private on Patreon, but let's just say way under $50,000. I'll say that much. And if I'm right, we'll see. I got a dream. I get a dream. I talk about it. I post it. And I think we're going to have a rally possibly in the market sometime this November, maybe towards the end of November. Maybe it'll trickle into December. I don't know. But I do feel like after that, the party might be over. I had Julianne give me a reading, Woo Dude's girlfriend. She's very psychic too. A channeling. And before she even called me to do it, she goes, I already got some information for you that they gave me. Oh, it's in the email. Oh, okay. I'll go check it out. Yeah, in 15 minutes, I'll call you for our session. Okay. So I read through this. And the long story short is that they said, we're going to move 1 decimal point to the right for a period of time, but then 2 decimal points to the left. To give you an idea, 50 cent theta 0.50, if it moves 1 to the right, to $1 even, it's moving to the right, that's a decimal point to the right. But if you move it back 1, it's back to, let's say, 50 cents. If you move it another decimal point, you're down to 5 cents. Now, she didn't say specifically XRP or specifically this coin. Basically, generalization for the coins in the crypto market. 1 decimal point to the right, but then 2 to the left. And I do believe personally that is going to happen. And I was given a dream over 2 years ago now where I was told the market will crash heavy duty in April. It was January of a couple of years ago or so when I got this. And I thought, well, April's a few months away. It's probably when it's going to happen. Didn't quite happen. We did have a pretty nice altcoin dump. But I felt like I still feel to this day that's not the one. It's the markets. She didn't say what market in the dream, this person. And the next year came by, April. Still not there. So it's like, wow, a year would be nice. There's a lot of years that can come where there's an April. But I'm not going to complain. Like Spirit gives it to me the way they give it to me. I'll just take it. I'm appreciative regardless. But having said that, it might be this April. Things are kind of lining up in my eyes that it could very well be around this April. But we'll see. We'll see. So I do plan on watching this market and going, it might be time to exit everything and wait for the 2 decimal points to the left to come. Because I'm very convinced it's going to happen. But anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. Well, not short. How long have I been on here? Hour and 15. That's long enough. So I got to go upstairs and spend a little time with my wife. We've been watching the show on Netflix. One of these, they got the English subtitles. Alice in Borderlands. It's kind of like this, not Squid Games, but it's kind of Squid Game-ish. It's kind of interesting. We've been enjoying it. So, if you want a little recommendation. So, anyways, join the other channel, JSnip42 or 42, and that way you're catching me wherever I'm at. I will talk to you guys.